It's your boy Wiener Dog. I'm starting to generate impact. Why do I say this? Because, I was taking out my dog the other day, and there's this park that's like right in front of my house, which I don't go at all. But, I was just taking my dog out. We're like, hey, let's take him to this park. Let's see, I haven't been here for like months, but let's go to this park and see what's up. And at that park, I saw a familiar face. And I'm recently been learning how to play piano on my phone and some sheet music. So I've been learning how to read, like just do some sight reading exercises. And we started talking, and I showed him like me playing Bohemian Rhapsody on my phone, and playing Hey Jude. He was like, "Wow." He's like, "How did you learn?" I was like, "I don't know, man. I just started playing the piano." But we started talking, and I started to realize, I think I want to see the best out of everyone I know and I care about. So I think that people who don't want to be their best or that sabotage themselves, I'd rather just leave them alone. It's like you don't want to do anything for yourself. And why did I realize that? Is because I used to go to this park, which is an environment of people who's really toxic for my health, for my mental health, and for my being. So I stopped going. And as I stopped going there, I started telling him, hey, this is a bad environment. You have dreams, and you're not gonna achieve those dreams by doing nothing, or by being with people that don't add any value to your life. They don't add value; they subtract value from your life, and they make you dumber. Because, believe it or not, you become influenced by your circle of friends, and if all your circle of friends are losers, you're gonna end up like a loser just like them. So that's why it's really important to select your friends. And if you can, select people who are better than you in other areas of your life, so you can learn and have the humility to learn from them. You will grow a lot from doing that. And then he realized that I was right, and he followed my advice. And when I was 15, I had crisis. I got depression, anxiety. I didn't know what my purpose was, and I was hella sure that I didn't want to go to school or university and get a normal job. 9 to 5 was not for me. I knew that from the start. I knew since I was 15, I wanted to do something more than my life than study, go to work, and make somebody else rich. The difference now is that I know what I want to do, right? The difference before is that I didn't know what to do. And I realized there's many ways to climb a mountain. But it excites me to see that I impact people and that people identify with my feeling. Because I started talking to him and I realized that he wanted more out of life. He was studying and stuff, but I didn't really see passion or drive or obsession. He was living his life by default and not by design. What he truly wanted to do was make a musical band. He said, hey Jeff, we should make a band. I was like, yeah, I want to make a band. I'm studying sheet music, but I need people who think like me and not think like losers. Because that mentality influences everything in your life. How you approach everything. And that makes all the difference. Attitude is a small thing that makes a huge difference. So I realized this guy didn't want a 9-to-5 job. Okay, I get it. So I started teaching him things that I learned, because now I have more clarity. Thanks to solitude and meditation, I have more clarity of what I want to do and who I am. And I realized that, some young men want more from life than just a 9-to-5 job. Just like me, I wanted greatness. I actually admire nothing less and nothing more than great people, greatness. Like Olympic level athletes, stuff like that. That's what I admire. That's what That's what inspires me. Great people like David Goggins. David Goggins is a golden nugget for me. And really young men like him, I realized, feel lost in life, without a purpose, without direction, without drive, without passion. And I realize that's because they don't, whatever you're doing, you're not doing something right in your life if you feel like that, obviously. But something that really helped me get clarity on my life was solitude, like literally eliminating, so doing a dopamine detox and going to solitude and meditating and listening to myself, meditating and just being with myself. And it took me a good while, and experimenting many things, doing a lot of things. Luckily, I've always been introspective, so I've always, that was quite easier for me to learn, right? But, solitude and meditation are two things I really recommend for that. And listening to yourself. If all you want to do is lift weights, what does that tell you about yourself? If all you want to do is play music, what does that tell you about yourself, right? And I also recommend that you don't find yourself, because we are just an abyss. There's nothing to find inside of us. I recommend that you define yourself. What are your values? Who do you admire? Who did you admire when you were smaller? Who did you admire and why? What did you value? What don't you value? What don't you tolerate? For me, I don't tolerate lies. I hate insincerity. I hate people that lie. I absolutely hate people who lie. So that's the message for the day. It's your boy Wiener Dog, out.